All right, well, hey guys, welcome back to the new episode of Take Control Podcast. We are your host, Darielle.
I'm Brandy.
Kim.
All right, so we're recording a little. Well, this is our normal time, but we missed the show. What, 2 weeks ago?
Last week, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I feel like Kim was gone and me and Brandy was just not prepared.
Yeah, I was like, do it without me.
They just be flying by.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to do a little quick check-in to see how everybody has been these last few weeks.
I've been good. I was just telling them off air. I've been sick for 6 weeks. I don't know what this is. I've done my antibiotics, my steroids. Now I'm trying holistic stuff, so it's fine. It's going to be here to stay.
I think we were recording when you said that.
Okay. Had the time of my life in Mexico. Shout out to the prices. Congratulations to y'all. But yeah, other than that, it's been work, Mexico, sick.
I wish I could take a vacation. I was supposed to since it's my birthday weekend, but the whole car accident thing just threw me off and I just gave up. I was just like, I don't even care. I'm going with the flow. I don't have any plans. I have some friends coming in town and we just
hang out.
Just hang out.
Congratulations on your new car.
Thank you.
It's really cute.
I'm so excited about it. I feel like everything that I thought I was going to get, the 2 cars that I really, really loved was something that I would never have looked at ever in life.
Yeah.
But I'm happy about it. I'm not happy about my car payment, but
yeah,
whatever. We're going to make it work.
Is it considered a truck? Small SUV?
I don't know.
It's probably a compact SUV.
I was going to say, because you'll never go back to a car. When I got my truck, I'll never go back to a car.
All-wheel drive. Is that what it's called? But I know some cars has it and some don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not a car, but it's not a truck either. It's like the perfect in between.
Yeah,
and
I want to say a station wagon because it has like that more round shape.
Yeah.
But y'all know what the new ones look like. Yeah.
It reminds me of like Teslas. I've seen some Hyundai, some Porsche trucks with like similar type of like.
Yeah, I guess that it's probably like that Honda Contour or whatever. That's you know what I mean. That has that round back, but it's not a car or a,
It's super cute.
Yeah. What about you?
What's been going on these last few? I don't know. I'm all over the place. Everything's fine. Just busy with work and summer camp and just a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm just like, my brain is like, pew, pew, pew. It's just everywhere. But I'm good. That's good.
As long as you're good, that's all that matters. All right. So we wanted to make a note that June is Men's Mental Health Month. And let me see who put this on here. Kim, you put this on here. It says June is recognized as Men's Mental Health Month, and is an important part of that is to highlight that men's what?
So it's recognized as men's So June is recognized as Men's Health Month, and an important part of that is highlighting men's mental health. The broader focus includes things like heart disease and cancer, but mental health often gets overlooked. Statistics show that men are nearly 4 times more likely to die by suicide than women, yet many still feel pressure to stay silent and just tough it out, which this kind of speaks to what we talked about last show. You know, how I asked, like, from a man's perspective, do you feel like you have to be quiet? So this month is about breaking that silence, encouraging open conversations, and reminding men that it's okay to ask for help. There's organizations like NAMI. I'm not sure what that stands for, but I'm sure it's National Association of Men's something, and campaigns like Gotcha for Life that are doing work and raising this awareness. So I just wanted to make that something that people may or may not be aware of for the show, just because I'm a big advocate for mental health in general, but especially men's mental health. Like I said last show, from a cultural standpoint too, for Black men, they're just taught that they don't exist and to shut the fuck up. So I just wanted to highlight that that's what June's for.
Love it, love it.
Yeah.
All right. So we're just going to jump right in to the first question. And it says, would you date someone that doesn't believe in birthday gifts, holidays, or gift giving?
I've been thinking about this one.
I was thinking about it too because I'm like, I've never even met a person who didn't celebrate anything. What do you do?
I've met one person.
You don't do nothing?
Well, so the person that that I knew about, this was probably 8 years ago, said it was for religious reasonings and that they were told that it was like paganistic or whatever to celebrate. So for me, I'm like, I'm not even about to sit here and kiki and go back and forth and argue with you. If that's how you feel,
okay,
go crazy. So for me, when I was thinking about this, I'm like, well, for me, for a religious standpoint, we do celebrate those things. And for me personally, personal preference, I feel like we always have to preface that now. I'm not saying nothing towards nobody, but I personally would not date a Christian. So I feel like I don't know if I would run into that because that person was not dating. That person was saying that based on a religious standpoint that was not Christianity. So I'm like, okay.
I just met someone that kind of recent that didn't believe in holidays, and their standpoint was kind of like, why do we have to wait to these specific dates to do these things with your family and friends or whatever? And he just feel like we can do that whenever.
Yeah.
And I kind of understood where he was coming from, but when it comes to gift giving, for example, okay, Valentine's Day, he was like, I don't celebrate any of this shit, but he was like, I'll give you some money and you can go to dinner with your friends. I'm like, cool. That was fine with me. Like, I wasn't tripping about it because it's not like you're just completely just ignoring it. Like, I'm not going to do anything. Like, if you don't want to celebrate, I really don't care. So, but then when it was like, okay, say like Mother's Day, for example, he told me Happy Mother's Day. That's acknowledging it, but it's like we didn't make a big deal about it. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
but do you want that though?
It didn't bother me.
I mean, okay. I mean, I'm trying to think about it for myself. Like, I never really thought about it, not even bringing the religious aspect into it. I'm naturally a person who celebrates birthdays. Like, I try to acknowledge, I try to gift give. And to me, it sounds like a big ass fucking excuse to say, I mean, we can celebrate people. Okay, then buy me something every day then, bitch. Like, I'm sorry. That made me mad. But like, yeah, but I'm trying to...
I don't know. Like, I can say they're not... This person specifically is a person that does give and does do stuff for people. So I feel like in this situation, it doesn't bother me because it's not like I'm just not doing anything for you at all.
Yeah.
It's just, there's just not this big thing around holidays, and he's even the same when it comes to his birthday. So it's just like, that doesn't bother me. But if it is somebody that's making an excuse, then I wouldn't go for that.
I mean, there's some holidays, like I don't have kids, so like Christmas isn't a huge thing for me. I usually either stay home or I go to my family. I mean, some holidays I get it. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I've never been in that situation.
It's just a lot of pressure, especially when it comes to Christmas. Like, I do have kids, but it's more stressful than enjoyable for me because there's just so much pressure to like spend money and do for all of these people. And it's just like...
Now, I don't think, in terms of that, I said, like, if I had kids, I would want to take my kids out of town for, like, Christmas. Yeah, get you a small gift, maybe 1 or 2 gifts, but the trip is going out of town. So I believe in, like, experiences when it comes to certain things with kids because they grow out of things really fast. They'll pick a toy up really quick and never pick it up again type situation. I'm just really trying to think, like, could I date a person that's just like, no, I don't really do holidays?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not.
Christmas is my favorite holiday, so if somebody was like, no, I'm like, you're going to have to...
I guess maybe it would depend, like, how involved they want to be. If it's somebody that's completely just shut off, like, I'm not coming around, I'm not celebrating, like, I couldn't do that. But if it's just, like, you don't really celebrate, but it's, like, you're willing to, like, go with you and your family or whatever.
Yeah, it would have to be a conversation for sure to figure out, like, what's the happy medium because, I just... Because, like, it's like, oh, we could do that every day. But then, like, those are, like, the days when community comes together, too. Because some people don't, really see. Yeah, I got to sit with that.
And we be working so much that I feel like people only make it a priority to get together for, like, holidays. And special events.
And not saying they shouldn't do it all throughout the year because they absolutely should. But I feel like these specific days are, like, emphasis on these days. You just gotta know if you don't give me that on my birthday, we ain't.
At least a little card, some flowers, something.
Yeah, shit. I don't know.
All right. Is having a type limiting your chances at real love? This question was interesting for me because my first thought was yes.
Mine was a dilemma.
It's yes for you.
No, here's why I think it's a dilemma. So my no is coming from I know myself well enough to know that, and I mean this nicely towards men in the past. If I date outside of my type, I end up being like mean by accident because I'm not fully attracted. And nobody deserves for me to project that. So that's why I say no, because I'm not giving somebody real love if I'm treating them like that. But then I feel like yes, because if I'm sticking to my typical Lance Gross, he doesn't exist unless he's Lance Gross. So I'm not going to find real love. So that's why I have like a dilemma, because I agree to a point where it's like, yeah, I can't stick to like, if you only look like Lance Gross and act like him, I need it. But I also know myself well enough to know like, my high school boyfriend, like, again, I have nothing bad to say about him to this day. Great freaking person. But I knew that I was falling out of attraction and it wasn't fair to like, oh, we've been together forever, so we might as well get married and have kids and just see where we end up. You know what I mean? So mine was a yes and a no. Situational, I suppose.
Probably. But I'm trying to think through, because I don't feel like I have a physical type. Like I've said this before, if you look at my dating history, everybody kind of looks different. But it's a personality type that I'm attracted to, which may be limiting me. I don't know. Like, I just want a certain kind of man, and it's not anything bad. It's just like, I want to be relieved of the burden of having to make a lot of decisions. Like, and there's just some men who don't lead in that way, and it's a turn off for me. Like if I'm mentally exhausted, and sometimes physically exhausted. So it's just like, when I hear a different type, is it like, oh, more of like a softer man who's just like, oh, well, babe, you got it. It's not going.
Yeah, not gonna work.
Not gonna work. So I don't know.
It was a yes for me because I agree that I am attracted to a certain type of personality type, which I'm pretty sure we all know by now. And that has been hard to find until recently. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, so I came across this article and it says if your child hits a teacher, you may go to jail under Georgia's Parent Accountability Act proposed by the teachers union. And I was just kind of like,
there you go, you going to jail.
Exactly. I would have been arrested several times by now. So that kind of made me feel away. I'm like, hold on now. Sometimes these kids just be out of control. We can't help that. Like, I wonder if this is something that's really going to be a thing.
I don't know. I can't see it going like mad far, but I was trying to read through this last night, and it's just because of how many accounts that they have. But I feel like there could be a different approach. But I mean, I don't know. I could talk to my dad about it, who's been teaching for 30 years. Like, what do you think? But I don't know, to like punish the parents is crazy because, to your point, like kids gonna do what they gonna do, like either way. And I assume they're quote unquote punishing the parent because they think it's a taught behavior from the household. But I've seen, not only growing up, but being a teacher in the past and having a dad that was a teacher, like these kids are more influenced by their peers than they are their parents once they hit a certain age. So I don't know if this will go beyond DeKalb County or not.
So it says the Georgia Federation of Teachers just proposed the Georgia Parent Accountability Act, which could punish parents if their child attacks a teacher. Penalties could include fines, community service at school, or even jail time, though no specific sentence was outlined. The move comes as violence against teachers has surged, with 755 cases reported in Georgia schools last year, nearly doubled. It says the act also calls for mental health screenings for grades 6 through 9, staff training and de-escalations, and parenting classes for repeat offenders' families. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, reading through this, I can, some of this stuff makes sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say my opinion might be unpopular. I think it's deeper than just looking at it and saying, "Oh, these parents need to go to jail." I think the age of the child plays a factor. Mm-hmm. I feel like once a kid is probably like teenage years and it's a consistent thing, I think the kid needs to take the punishment, because I don't necessarily think that putting a parent in jail correlates to the kid that they need to stop doing this.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So there has to be real consequences, and I think that's a lot of the issue that we see now with kids, like stealing cars and all of that. They're not really punished for it because they're so young.
Right.
I feel like if they're under the age of 13 and it's excessive, maybe the parent should. It's deeper than just saying like, oh, some kids are out of control, or oh, parents need to, do X, Y, and Z. Like, yes, I believe that kids are influenced more by their peers than their parents, but I think that stems from the relationship with the parent. Like, and I also think a part of that, if we're talking about young men, the father not being in the home. Like, I'm noticing like there's just a certain kind of structure that comes if you have an active and present dad. There's a certain kind of structure that comes where you just don't see those things, because as of women, when boys get a certain age, yeah, they'll respect their moms, but that doesn't necessarily translate to respect outside of the home and for authority. And I do believe that mothers are a lot easier on their boys than they are their daughters. So I think it's a lot of factors that play into this, but essentially I think if the kid is in their teenage years, the kid should be punished, not the parent.
Yeah. I agree with everything you said, just because I've been through these things and I know like how my oldest son's upbringing kind of like affected the outcome. I wouldn't say completely just in the home, but just a lot of factors. And I can tell just like he had a strong male presence, but it wasn't his biological dad. And then once we separated and, other things happen in life, I can tell like, just having just me around was not enough.
Yeah.
And I definitely was super soft on my kids because I just kind of felt like, oh, I don't want to be too harsh on them because I don't want them to feel like I don't love them. And now that I've been through everything I've been through, I wish I was a little harder on them, especially because they're boys. So, but I don't know. I kind of like the idea of the mental health screenings and the staff training and the parenting classes. I think those are great ideas, but I don't completely agree with the parent going to jail.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The jail to me is a bit much. And again, this just comes from seeing it with my dad, and then I was a teacher for a few years. That's ridiculous, but I do believe, like, I think the parent and the student, if it's community service, both should join. You know what I mean? It shouldn't just be, to both of your points, a punishment for just the parent. Like, both of you do community service. Both of you get fined somehow, figure out a way to fine them. If they're in sports, you don't get to play for X amount. You know what I mean? So,
well, that's just like if a kid doesn't show up to school and like they get truant, the parents get charged with that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I do think it could be something of both, but I think it's situational, like you guys said.
It's just funny, like, looking at this and just thinking, like, how times are just so different. And I always wonder, like, is there things that we can pinpoint as to why it's like that? Because when we were kids, I don't feel like you may have one-off situations where a student would get into it with a teacher, but we were just taught to respect our elders. And like these kids now, they don't care. Like, I see, and like just younger kids, like I would say, like early 20s on down, and which at 20 you are an adult, but you are still a child. Yeah. And so it's like watching how they handle conflict, with my customer service background and different things like that. It's just like things are like totally different. Even at 36, like I'm still more prone to respect somebody that's older than me unless they just totally out of pocket. Yeah. But these kids, they ain't going for none of that.
The YNs and the YBs are out of control.
I wonder, like, what...
Does it mean young bitch? That means young boy, doesn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it young boy or
young bitches?
It is that? Okay. I know what YN is, but
oh my God.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
But yeah, I just wonder what has changed with parents in this generation, like our age group. I mean, even younger than us, but it's different. It's totally different.
Yeah. And this just kind of takes me to this other post. It's not on the outline, but I saw it the other day, and it was just like, should kids be allowed to have social media before high school?
That's a big ass factor too.
I think you got to know your child. And I think you have to have a lot of conversations with your kids about social media. I wouldn't just give even now with my niece, she knows how to work the phone and the tablet, but she doesn't spend a lot of time on the phone or the tablet. I try to make sure she's watching Disney, Netflix. I try to keep her off of YouTube. And so I feel like a lot of parents allow, and I'm not a parent, so take this with a grain of salt, but I do feel like a lot of parents allow the phone to be the parent because it keeps the kids quiet, it keeps them distracted. And it helps you guys out. But I think that if you don't, once your kids are old enough to understand, have the conversation with them about social media, making sure that their timeline is filtered to a certain extent of what they can and cannot see, you having access to their social media 24/7 where you can go in at any time and look at I don't know if parents are doing that or, what the case is, but I think you have to have really deep conversations with your kids about social media and how it works because it affects us as adults. So put that in the mind of somebody whose brain isn't fully developed. I don't know what you think you're going to get out of that. Yeah. So, yeah.
I think I was a little lenient with my oldest son just because, trial and error.
Yeah.
And so with MJ, I be on him. And it's been a couple times, where I felt I was a little too lenient. And then he has, I'm sorry, son, you might hear this one day. But he's a little bit of a follower. And has snuck and watch things he wasn't supposed to or made social media pages, and me and his dad have been on him about no social media, absolutely not. It's like you said, knowing your kid. I know my kid. You're not ready for that. You think you are because your friends have and you think it's cool. You are not ready for that because the moment you snuck and made pages, you used it incorrectly. Yeah. And so I have to do check-ins on his iPad, go through everything, see what he watching, see who he talking to, see what he's saying. And we just got to a point where we're just no iPad at all. Yeah. He got a little flip phone where he could call us. Good. And that's it.
And that's it, yeah.
Good.
Me and my sister were just talking about this, and I'm so you gotta watch it. Watching forever. And we were just talking about growing up and stuff. And I'm like, I didn't get into a lot of trouble as a kid. I wasn't doing a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't have no business doing. And I really think that is because my mom, she allowed me the freedom to do things, right? And a lot of people don't agree with it, but she used to be like, if it's going to happen, I want it to be under my roof so I know where my child is and I know what's going on. And she would always tell me I'm never telling you, I'm not forcing you to do anything, but know that everything you do has a consequence and it has a choice. And you have a choice. I have a preferred outcome in what I want you to do, but if you do this, know that this, and this can happen. She always told me to think outside the box. So I never felt the need to go in. I mean, I did a couple of things, you know what I mean? But I wasn't one of those kids where she was just girl is bad as hell. You know what I mean? So I just always tell people that I feel like if you open the lines of communication with your kids early on and make them feel like they can come to you and they don't have to hide things from you, you probably won't have a lot of that stuff. Because a lot of these kids just feel misunderstood. Yeah. So
I agree. I totally agree. Just because I feel like with Royce, we're in a better space now. We could talk freely, but it was hard
to get there.
To get there at first. And he wasn't really the type of kid to really open up. I think he's had that mindset of guys are supposed to be tough. They can't be soft. They can't talk about their feelings. But MJ is a complete opposite. He's super emotional. He's super open. If he feels something, sometimes he come to me and he be like, I want to talk about it. He's just cute. Completely different. So yeah. Parenting is
it's ghetto.
It's so ghetto. Okay. Our next question says, how do you know when you're burnt out from work and life and ways to prevent it? And what do you do to get your energy back? That's a good question. I'll be going through this a lot.
Yeah. My biggest signal, and this is kind of how I said earlier, I get mean, I get irritated, I get irritable. to people that don't deserve it. Like I could be training somebody and they'll come in and ask something minor and I'm just like, that's fucking mean. They don't deserve that. So that shows me like, all right, I'm hitting my max. Another thing that happens to me is like I get physically sick. Like I truly believe this is lasting so long too because I've had no time to rest between like making sure I got to Mexico, all the wedding stuff up to it, work events, and then my off days, as y'all know, are never off days. I've been more intentional about making like after I go to the gym today, I'm staying home. Like I've been more intentional about doing stuff like that, but I'm always doing something on an off day. So I get physically drained and then I'm mentally drained. I just become like, honestly, like rude and irritable and quick to snap. And how I get my energy back up is doing that, like genuinely just taking like evenings and days to myself where I'm like, all right, I need to separate. I need to healthy isolate in order to get back to where I should be to fully operate and function.
The question came from me. I do notice when I am feeling burnt out, like him, I get very irritable, just agitated for no reason, especially with work and my phone. If it's like constantly ringing, I just find myself mad. Ways to prevent it. I'm learning that you just have to say no to some things. So like I try to slow down now before I respond to something. Like I'm working on 10,000 different things right now. And a friend of mine needed help with something. And I helped her out, but I caught myself kind of after the fact. Like, why did you even say you would do that? Like, why did you even do that? So, as if you ain't already got a full plate. But slowing down and just being able to say, no, I can't do that right now. I can't take that on or whatever the case may be. I'm learning to do that. And it is very hard because I'm a helper by nature. So having to tell people no. And then anytime I feel like I'm burnt out, I just feel like I need a vacation. I feel like a vacation just resets everything. And I'm really trying to set up my life to where I can just go somewhere, even if it's still in state, a little road trip once a month, just to clear my head. I've been telling my mom, I'm like, I think I'm going to do a staycation and just lock myself up in a room downtown for a weekend and turn my phone off, take myself to dinner, take myself to the spa and just lock myself up. I don't want to talk to nobody. Yeah.
That would be nice. I agree with both of you guys. I get very moody and irritable too. And snappy. But I think for me, like to get my energy back up, I have to isolate too. I have to pray a lot about every little thing and kind of just talk myself down off the edge or snapping on somebody. And I have to take time to myself too. Even with my kids, I'll be telling them like, listen, I need a couple minutes, an hour, an evening, just, to myself so I can get back to me. Because if I'm not good, y'all not good. And then too, like, I think I have to prioritize saying no as well because I'm always constantly saying yes or agreeing to do stuff. And then I'll be the same way. Like I get there and I'll be like, damn, I actually don't want to do this anymore. So I got to just kind of read my temperature and just learn to say no sometimes. Like I've been telling people after my birthday, I got to lock in and I got to focus because I'm constantly getting off of like my path and I can't afford to do that anymore. Yeah. So it's just like I want to have as much fun as I can while I can, but then I need to lock in so I can get back to like what I'm trying to accomplish in life. So
Another thing I noticed is that I have to stop procrastinating. I think that also causes burnout because I will put something off and I'm working up against a deadline and now I'm stressed because I put it off for days or weeks and I should have just did it. And so now I'm mad trying to get through whatever it is I'm trying to get through. I have to stop doing that as well.
Yeah. And time management. I will wait to the last minute to get up, for example, today, and then be rushing to get there and I'll be mad as hell. Then I'll be screaming at people in traffic like, it's not their fault I'm late, it's mine. I gotta work on that. Like, I'm terrible. Terrible. Okay, so the last thing we have, there was an article about a woman in Georgia that she was medically brain dead, but Georgia's abortion law was forcing the family to keep her alive. Did y'all have a chance to read that?
Yeah, I heard about that like a month ago.
I did hear about it. Yes, I did hear about it. I think the young woman, she had an aneurysm or something happen, and she was 9 weeks pregnant at the time. Adriana Smith is medically brain dead, but Georgia's abortion law is forcing her family to keep her alive. She was 8 weeks pregnant when she was declared medically brain dead. Georgia's abortion law is forcing her family to keep her on life support. And I believe she already has another child as well. I think it's actually disgusting. Like, she at this point is just a human incubator. Like, and it's not even guaranteed that the kid is going to survive the pregnancy or not have birth defects.
Right.
And her family has to foot this hospital bill.
I think I did read that in the article.
I saw this TikTok the other day. The lady was talking about it, and she was like, I had a child, like my child's best friend, commit suicide in my house. And she said it shocked me within a week because they kept her on like a life support for a week. She said how there was a nurse every 30 minutes in there for a week trying to keep her body alive, and you could see her dying each time. And so she brought up this. That was her point of being like, if that was a week, she's clearly dead, and you're doing this long, that body is not alive.
How is the baby even?
Because the ventilator is what keeps the organs functioning. So her organs are still functioning, but she's brain dead. She's essentially not there. So the baby can come to term potentially because her organs are still functioning.
Right.
It's unfortunate. And the mother was just saying she was just, just upset because they don't even have a choice in the matter. Right. They didn't get to decide that they wanted to try to keep her alive or whatever the case may be. And I have a friend who, her sons, their father, his mom, she was in a coma for a year and she woke up and she lived like 5 or 6 more years after that, full functioning, not too many issues after that. So, I mean, something miraculous could happen. But again, for me not to be able to make the choice for what's best for my child because she's pregnant and the hospital doesn't want to get in trouble legally. I wonder if the family has, I assume they might be able to sue the hospital because to me it's unethical.
Yeah.
But...
And then y'all are forcing this to happen, but then they gotta pay for the hospital bills.
And then the thing is, and I think we talked about this a very long time ago, it's like y'all are fighting to keep these babies, to keep these women, to have these kids that if the women need assistance, y'all don't even want to keep the programs to help the women take care of the kids. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. And like I said, for the family to not be able to decide what's best for her, is actually it's deplorable.
Well, yeah, because the mom even was saying too, like she got to sit there and look at her kid like that instead of just being able to like bury her if you want to and just literally lay her to rest, or like you said, keep her there. But like this is ridiculous. And the lady on the TikTok said same thing you did. She's literally just like respectfully like an incubator or a parasite for the kid. Like that's literally the purpose of her now. And like you said, that child, you don't know if it's going to come out healthy. It's not getting the nutrition and everything that it needs. Like you're forcing whatever you can to keep that child in there. Like,
and that's the thing, like best case scenario, the child survives, but has some kind of delays or birth defects. Y'all taking away the benefits for those people right now as we speak. Like what are we even talking? It's crazy.
And it's more, to your point, it's more money that they're going to have to pay for to raise that child.
Yep.
Crazy.
More responsibility on the family. Yep. Like, yeah, that's sad.
Crazy.
Did y'all have anything else before we wrap up? Because this was a very quick little show, but we wanted to make sure we still gave y'all some content. All right, well, please make sure you guys follow, like, subscribe, share. Our Instagram is Take Control Podcast. You can email us at takecontrolpodcast@gmail.com. We are on YouTube if you don't know already. But that's all we have. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
See you next.
Bye.
2 weeks.